Hello everyone, hello. So you can see behind me a glorious, miraculous, beautiful sunset getting ready, or actually in process of happening behind me here in Cairo, Egypt. This has been such an enriching trip and I hope you enjoy watching and vicariously traveling to Egypt with me and learning all the great things that I have to share.
Well, so the papyrus plant was considered as a holy plant in the ancient days. That's because of three things. First thing is, the plant itself was the symbol of the north of Egypt. You know, Egypt was two different kingdoms in ancient time, so the papyrus plant was considered like the flag of the north. The lotus flower was the flag of the south. The second reason was the flower, which should be much bigger than this. It looks a bit like the sun rays, and that's the symbol of Amun-Ra, the god of sun in the ancient time. The main thing is, the main difference actually between this plant and any other, it's the only plant all over which has this triangular stem, which is like one face of the pyramid. The pyramid was the symbol of eternity in ancient days. That's why the ancient Egyptians used to worship this plant in the old days. To make the paper itself, first thing we do is we decide the size. We just decide just a little small one like this, for example. Usually the plant grows over 5 meters, by the way, but it needs two things to grow. Hot weather, really hot. We do have that anyway in the summer. Lots of water at the same time, so the plant should be even much thicker than this. And then we remove the outer green skin, which is quite strong and it's very flexible as well. In the ancient days, they used it for making things like ropes, hats, baskets, sandals. They used the whole thing for making even boats in ancient days. Someone in 1969 proved that from Norway. Actually, his name is Thor Heyerdahl. He made his own boat, which is Kon-Tiki, out of the papyrus plant, and he could cross the Pacific Ocean with as well. This is the main part we use for making the paper. So we just divide it into slices, just like this. But now you see the slices are so fragile just because the slices contain lots of water, sugar, and also fibers inside. To make the slices flexible, we have to squeeze the water out by using the rolling pin. We also break the fibers inside the slices, just like this. This is the same rolling pin that Olo's wife uses. Eating asthma if he comes late. That's love. Egyptian wife never uses this, by the way. Egyptian wife uses knives.
Oh, all right.
Like, one time, yeah, he must come early. So now you can see it's much flexible and stronger. Yes, sure. You can see the difference even between this and that. So you can see this is a bit like thick and spongy.
Oh, and this is what it is before they roll.
Oh, wow.
Wow. That is crazy.
So now
completely two different textures.
In the water here for 2 days. So we soak the slices here in the just regular water, by the way. So we keep the slices 2 days in the water, and we have to change the water every day. 2 days just to get this color, by the way. If we left the slices longer time in the water, like 10 or 15 days, it gets the dark brownish shade, which is exactly the same thing. So the dark paper, it's harder to do the paper. harder to paint in it. That's why only few artists they use the brownish paper actually. After the time in the water, we arrange the slices in horizontal and vertical positions between two pieces of carpet like this or two pieces of cotton. In the ancient days, of course, they didn't have the same materials we use now. So they used in the beginning animal skins like camel hides. Later they used the linen as well. Okay. So you can weave the slices like this, or you can also flat them. But it should be horizontal and vertical. That's what makes the paper strong enough. And so on till we complete the whole sheet. And then we're gonna squeeze everything under this press here for 6 days.
Wow.
What did they use to press back in the day?
Heavy stones.
Heavy stones.
Yeah.
Heavy stones.
This is the only different thing you can tell. Now we'll have to wait, huh?
Oh wow.
You know, 6 Egyptian days, not 6 normal days, by the way. Like Egyptian days is too long. You know that, of course. So during the 6 days under the press, the slice is going to stick together. Naturally, that's because of the cellulose inside the fibers.
Fibers, yeah. Can make a connect.
Acts like a natural glue, no chemical materials at all, by the way. And then we get a piece of paper exactly like this. This is what we get in the end. This is exactly the way the ancient Egyptians did thousands of years ago. So you can see the paper is quite strong. It's very flexible and very smooth as well, except any type of colors. Yeah.
So where did they get the paper from?
Where?
The paper?
Do you mean in the ancient days or
Yeah, in the ancient days.
from the plant?
Oh, so they got
Right.
it and put it all
Came from the
together.
plant.
Were you paying attention, Joseph?
I was, but I wanted to check.
This is, by the way, the first paper ever invented by mankind. The first idea even how to make a paper actually from the plant. Again, it's the light as well. You can see easily the horizontal and vertical arrangement.
Wow.
Well, and that's what makes the paper that strong. It's not just a paper, by the way, but this was the biggest industry they did in ancient days. Much important than everything you see around. Before this, actually, they had hard time to dig everything in the stones, to do their messages and daily life in the stones as well. The main thing in this paper is still the strongest and the only paper all over the world that lasts this number of years.
What did they call it? What did they call it?
Sorry?
In the ancient days, what did they call it?
The word
The paper? Yeah. The word?
It's in ancient days. It's actually the word paper came from the word papyrus.
Papyrus.
So that's like royal thing. That was meant to be for just the kings and main people in ancient days. That's why they called it papyrus. So paper, papyrus. See that? That's the source.